Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Have you ever daydreamed about designing something maybe straight out of science fiction, like, I don't know, the next RoboCop, or maybe something a bit more grounded, but just as amazing, like helping someone get their life back with a really advanced bionic hand, or maybe a life-saving pacemaker? Imagine that, right? A field where you're mixing the complexities of the human body with pure engineering power, creating these just revolutionary solutions. Well, good news, because today that's exactly what we're unpacking, the incredible world of biomedical engineering and bioengineering. We're going to dive deep, really get into what these fields are all about, the huge opportunities, and honestly, what it really takes to succeed. And like always, we've pulled together insights from experts, industry reports, all that stuff to give you the clearest picture we can.
That's right. Think of this deep dive as your expert guide, especially if you're curious about this path. It's definitely demanding, no doubt about it, but also incredibly rewarding. We're going to synthesize basically why these fields are growing so fast, why the demand is so high, and we'll connect it all back to, global healthcare needs, our aging populations, and of course, all the tech advancements happening constantly. You're basically getting a shortcut here, a crucial one to understanding this really vital, innovative area.
Okay, so let's jump right in. A question that pops up all the time, right at the beginning, is about the names. Bioengineering versus biomedical engineering. Is there like a big difference? Does that specific name really matter all that much?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's something students definitely wrestle with. Okay, so from an industry viewpoint, here's maybe the key thing. Bioengineering is generally seen as the bigger umbrella, the broader term. It can cover everything from medical devices, sure, but also agriculture, environmental stuff, even food production
I'd
technology.
rather. Got it.
Whereas biomedical engineering, that's more specialized. It zeroes in specifically on healthcare, medical applications. That's where you find things like tissue engineering, neural engineering, medical imaging, that kind of focus.
Right, right. That's a really helpful distinction, actually,
Yeah.
especially if you're a student trying to pick a program. So if the name itself isn't the most critical thing, what should people focus on when they're choosing a university or just thinking about this field?
Yeah, it's much less about the exact name on the diploma and much more about, well, the actual courses, the
Hmm.
curriculum, and what you want to do. In my own experience, working over a decade now in medical devices, pharmaceuticals, I see graduates from both BioE and BME programs, and they're often working side by side. Similar projects, similar roles.
Eh,
The real key is finding a program that, excites you, gives you that solid foundation, and importantly, lets you explore across disciplines. That interdisciplinary nature is what makes people so adaptable later on.
That clarifies a lot, thank you. So, okay, let's talk about the appeal. Why choose this field? What are the really compelling reasons, especially knowing how tough it can be?
Oh, there are definitely some strong pulls. First off, the sheer variety of career paths it opens up is huge. You've got biotech, healthcare systems, pharma, academia, even moving into the wider tech sector. You could be designing software, maybe for surgical robots, or developing new hardware for diagnostics, or maybe leading product development or running the testing side of things. Really diverse.
That is a lot of options. And beyond just the variety, what's really driving the demand? You mentioned growth earlier. Are there specifics, like numbers, that show how fast things are moving?
Absolutely. We're seeing this huge demographic shift globally, right? An aging population. Plus, healthcare innovation is just accelerating like crazy. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, for example, they're projecting around 7% job growth for bioengineers.
7%.
Yeah, from 2023 to 2033. And, you compare that to the average across all jobs, it's significantly faster, really
Yeah.
signals strong expansion.
And I imagine that kind of growth, that demand, probably means good things for salaries too.
It certainly does. Yeah, that high demand translates pretty directly into strong earning potential. We're seeing median salaries comfortably over $100,000 a year,
Wow.
and often even higher if you specialize in some of the real cutting edge stuff like neural interfaces or advanced biomaterials. It's definitely a field where you can build a solid financial future, and you're also making a real difference. Plus, another point, unlike some engineering fields that might be more concentrated geographically, bioengineering is truly global, opportunities everywhere.
Okay, so we've talked about the overall demand being high, but digging a bit deeper, within bioengineering, where's the really explosive growth right now? What are those hot zones?
Right, good question. We're definitely seeing huge momentum in personalized medicine. Think about like designing tiny microfluidic chips, chips that can analyze a patient's unique genetic markers right there, point of care, or developing, say, 3D printed implants that are perfectly matched to one person's anatomy. That's where bioengineers are just essential, moving healthcare away from one-size-fits-all telemedicine, remote patient monitoring. That's another area just exploding, driven by better comms tech, obviously. Needs engineers who get those systems.
And I guess regenerative medicine fits in there too. Things like tissue engineering must still be big areas for growth.
Precisely, huge potential there. And linked to what I said earlier about aging, there's also this growing need for biomedical engineers focused on geriatrics. There's even an emerging field called gerone technology.
You're on technology.
Yeah, developing tech and devices specifically to help people age healthily, stay independent longer. It's fascinating. And of course, you can't ignore AI and machine learning. Their integration into healthcare is a total game changer. AI algorithms are now, sifting through massive genomic data sets, finding potential drug targets way faster than humans could,
Right.
or improving diagnostic accuracy, like spotting tiny things in medical scans. So you need engineers who can bridge that gap, who understand both the data science and the biology. This means jobs aren't just in, medical device companies. They're in hospitals, clinics, doing maintenance, and especially in R&D, cutting-edge research.
Okay, it sounds incredibly rewarding, definitely in demand. But let's be real, like any field this impactful, it's not all smooth sailing.
Mm.
What are some of the big challenges people should be ready for if they're thinking about bioengineering?
Well, the academic side is definitely rigorous. That's a big one. These programs are intense. You're juggling some heavy-duty coursework, advanced math, biology, physics, computer programming, and you also need to be ready for tough courses in things like fluid mechanics, solid mechanics.
Right, essential for things like blood pumps or drug delivery.
Exactly. Then there's circuit design, for pacemakers, neural stimulators, and biomaterials, understanding how things interact safely with the body. It really is this intense mix of engineering rigor and deep biological understanding. I still remember my first semester trying to balance advanced calculus with cell biology. You definitely realize how interdisciplinary it is. It pushes you. But honestly, that challenge is part of the appeal for many.
And it seems like, unlike maybe some other engineering paths, the career trajectory isn't always a straight line, is it? That could be a challenge too. You kind of have to forge your own way sometimes, seeking out internships, maybe extra certifications, or even advanced degrees.
That's a really crucial point. Yeah, it's not always predefined. I've seen classmates go in totally different directions, some into medical device sales, others deep into research at startups. I even know one who ended up in venture capital focusing specifically on biotech investments.
Wow.
Another thing is the regulation. The industry, especially medical devices and pharma, is highly regulated. Now, that's absolutely vital, right, for patient safety, product effectiveness.
Of course.
But it can mean that innovation cycles, project timelines, they can sometimes feel slow. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of meticulous work.
Okay, so given all the amazing opportunities, but also the real challenges, what are the key things, the skills, the mindset you really need to cultivate to succeed here?
Right. Well, first, you absolutely need that strong foundation in core engineering principles. Mechanics, electronics, materials science. The basics have to be solid. But equally vital is a really deep understanding of human biology and physiology. That's fundamental. You need it to develop things that actually work with the body effectively.
And then beyond just the knowledge base, I guess problem solving is huge. Critical thinking, you're constantly facing complex issues in healthcare tech, and you probably don't solve them alone, right? So teamwork, communication must be key too.
Oh, absolutely crucial. You're always collaborating with doctors, nurses, researchers, other engineers. You have to be able to communicate clearly. And remember, this field moves fast. So adaptability, a real commitment to keep learning, always. That's non-negotiable. I'd also say, beyond the formal coursework, get hands-on with the tools. Things like MATLAB, SolidWorks, LabVIEW. Get comfortable with programming. Maybe Python is becoming so important.
Practical skills.
Yes, and build your network. Talk to older students, use LinkedIn, go to industry events if you can, learn statistics, data analysis, and maybe most importantly, set clear goals for yourself, achievable ones. Keep yourself moving forward.
What an incredible journey today, really diving into this world of biomedical engineering and bioengineering. It's genuinely exciting, isn't it? This blend of biology and engineering that's actively changing healthcare. We've seen how broad it is, how high the demand is. That projected 7% job growth from the Bureau of Labor Statistics is pretty telling. And the earning potential, too, with those median salaries often over $100.
It really is promising. And, while it's definitely challenging, I think the key takeaway is that success, It hinges less on the exact name of your major. It's much more about how you approach it all, your studies, your career development.
Mindset.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Cultivating that mindset, mastering the core skills, really proactively seeking out experiences that enrich you. It's a field that demands, yes, solid math, analytical skills, conceptual thinking, but also definitely more than just a drop of creativity. So, maybe a final thought for everyone listening. If you're really passionate about innovation, if you're okay with navigating things that aren't always clear cut, and if you're genuinely eager to work right there at that fascinating crossroads of engineering and biology, ask yourself, who knows what legacy you could leave behind? Think about how your unique contribution could genuinely shape the future of medicine, of technology, making a real impact on people's lives.